Paths to the Present has been presenting links to the past since the year 2000. Over the years, we've worked hard to present stories about Montgomery County's rich history. And you know, some of those are worth seeing again. We've combed our archives for stories to repackage for you today. So, sit back, relax, while we rewind. Hi, I'm Barbara Grunbaum, producer of Paths to the Present, standing in today for Gail Street. This Rewind looks at the history of 4-H in Montgomery County. Now, this segment was produced in 2003. More than likely, the kids interviewed here have graduated college by now. But no matter who tells the story, 4-H remains dedicated to the development of today's youth through fun and educational opportunities. Over the years, this club has left quite a legacy, not the least of which is the county fairgrounds in Gaithersburg. Kids from all over Montgomery County bring things like farm animals, decorated cakes, small engines, and artwork. Each one is hoping to go home with that coveted blue ribbon prize. 4-H is a big part of why there's a county fair at all. It's also a big part of many county residents' lives.
I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
In the late 1800s, 4-H clubs were popping up all around the United States. This grassroots movement grew out of a need for better agricultural education for youth and promoted learning by doing. Here in Montgomery County, 4-H prospered early on. By 1922, there were pig clubs and poultry clubs in communities like Damascus, Poolesville, and Bethesda. In 1938, George Lechleider joined the Rockville 4-H club through his high school. It was a place where the students could learn new farming techniques, which would then be helpful on their own family farms.
We learned how to take care of the animals. We learned how to feed them and how to take care of them. We also learned how to prepare the formulas for the feed that they had to have. And we learned it was cheaper for us to make the formula than it was to divide the feed and let them make their own. And we also learned how to fit them to make them look presentable.
4-H training went beyond just the club meetings. Opportunities existed that helped to promote leadership and confidence in the young people. When he was only 18, George Lechleider traveled to Cleveland, Ohio for the world's poultry judging contest. This was only the beginning of his success as a farmer, a 4-H leader, and an active member of this community.
If you can consider me a success, that's what did it. I learned more in 4-H than I did all the time I was in school. And I had some wonderful teachers. I'm not knocking the teachers, but I'm saying I actually learned more from that and put me where I am today. 4-H did it. I really, truly believe that.
Back in the very early days of 4-H, the clubs reflected the society at the time. Boys raised the animals and did the farm work. Girls learned to cook, sew, and run a household. But that soon changed. Joyce Hawkins joined her first 4-H club in 1943, along with her sister Barbara Stiles. Their last name was Riggs back then. Because they lived on a dairy farm, joining the Holstein Club seemed like a natural thing to do, despite being a girl.
We were aware to a certain extent that this was something that not many girls had done before. But we didn't have any qualms whatsoever about doing it. I mean, it just seemed perfectly fine to us. And I think, later in life, I found that some people thought, my goodness, that wasn't a proper thing for girls to do. But as far as we were concerned, it was perfectly proper for us to do it, and we enjoyed it so much.
Joyce and her sister Barbara immersed themselves in all aspects of 4-H. They practiced to become dairy judges, they learned to cook and sew, and they made presentations at local fairs. When the sisters first began in 4-H, there was no county fair. One had once operated in Rockville, on the grounds of what is now Richard Montgomery High School, but it had closed in 1928. Resurrecting the fair grew from the idea that the 4-H kids in this county needed a place to showcase their work. In 1949, the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair opened its gates in Gaithersburg. George Lechleider was one of the men who helped to secure the land and to prepare the site.
Well, the role of 4-H, the 4-H kids, their parents helped us to cut the trees and build the barns and do whatever we asked them to do. That was the role of 4-H. And of course the 4-H kids themselves helped. But the mothers furnished the food for us when we were working, and of course the dads all had to do the work. When we were building it, we had to went out and cut the trees and brought them back and sawed them and did it. And we weren't contractors. We were just dumb farmers, I call them. But we did a good job. Some of the buildings that we built, the first buildings, are still standing and look in good shape.
Joyce Hawkins remembers just how important the county fair was to the 4-H kids.
We have the fondest memories of those weeks at the Montgomery County Fair. We were there with our friends all day, and we were working on our animals and washing them and grooming them and leading them and having a lot of great camaraderie. So it was a wonderful experience. It's really shaped our lives, I would say.
Over the years, Montgomery County 4-Hers have experienced a wide range of leadership opportunities. Some have had the chance to meet different U.S. presidents. Many have traveled to state and national competitions. Others have participated in an international youth farm exchange program. In 1975, Jane Evans traveled to Africa to help establish a 4-H type program there.
This is the trip of a lifetime, there's just no question. I was able to spend almost 2 years in a small country in Africa called Swaziland, Africa. And in Swaziland it's called 4S instead of 4-H, and there are Swazi words for that. But the youngsters would get together and they did learn to elect a club president, for instance, or to develop leadership that way. And we actually got funding. We got a grant that in order to run a leadership seminar for a week and teach them skills so that they could help to promote themselves and help to better themselves and their community even more than they were already doing.
By reaching out to other cultures and by expanding its program at home, 4-H has kept pace with an ever-changing world. Diane Geary is a former 4-Her who now works at the county's Cooperative Extension Office, where 4-H is administered. She's seen a lot of changes over the years.
I think in the early years when I joined 4-H, when I was 9, 4-H was about agriculture or cooking and sewing type clubs, and it has evolved from that into more community-based clubs that do educational things with computers and arts and crafts and photography. And 4-H has gone from being just a club-based activity to an after-school activity, special interest activities. In the 70s, 4-H started doing outreach programs with nutrition education and moved into latchkey programs and adventures in science and programs like that, which were really great because it involved kids that didn't grow up on a farm or that didn't want the traditional 4-H program.
Today, anyone can join 4-H and pursue just about any interest. Adult volunteers help lead the clubs. The Extension Office provides support and a place to meet. And the learning by doing model continues, which is documented in these extensive project notebooks. But mostly, 4-H is about creating capable, caring, courageous individuals, which is just what we found when we caught up with a few of the kids at the Harvest Festival in Durwood.
4-H is a great opportunity. It taught me responsibility and caring and trustworthiness, and it allowed me to meet new people that I wouldn't really meet in a normal basis at school.
We do PAL visits, which stands for People, Animals, Love. And in PAL visits, we take our pets to nursing homes. And we spend an hour there talking with the residents and showing them our pets and enjoying the time with them, pretty much.
My favorite thing is the community service. I'm involved in several 4-H camps, and my 4-H camp is my favorite thing because I get to work with other kids and teach them, and we have a lot of fun, and it's outdoors things, so I like that too, but I love doing community service. That's what I like to do.
Last year, I went to the Nationals in the small engines competition and won 5th there. And we also had the engineering bowl there, where they ask questions in all the areas of engineering, like small engines, electricity, aerospace, automotive, small tractor, large tractor. And the Maryland team, it's by teams from the different states that come. And the Maryland team took first, so I'm very happy about that.
One thing that I do every year is the VIP day, and that's where I take kids that have disabilities, have handicaps, AIDS, or in a wheelchair or whatever. I spend the day with them, and we take them on rides, we show them the animals, we show them the 4-H barn and the other exhibits that are at the fair, and I like that. Like I said, I like working with kids, and I have a heart for them, and so it's been really fun.
4-H means a lot to me because I've learned a lot over the years that I've been in 4-H. I've learned about leadership, and I've learned how to take better care of my animals, and I've learned how to make friends and how to do public speaking and a whole lot of other things. I've learned to be comfortable speaking with strangers. I used to be really shy about speaking with elderly people, and doing PAL visits helped me a lot with that. So I've learned a lot, and 4-H is a big part of my life.
And by the way, 4-H isn't just about learning. It's also about having a good time and establishing friendships that will last a lifetime.
I've stayed with 4-H because it's fun, and I don't want to stop. I like it. I wish I could do it forever.
To learn more about the 4-H program here in Montgomery County, call them at 301-590-9638. Well, that's it for now. I'm Barbara Grunbaum. For all of us at County Cable Montgomery, thanks for watching.